nightly live stream. I thought it'd be fun to just hang out with you guys at night. I'm going to show you some new Moda collections that are going to be shipping in the beginning of 2024. I'm going to show you the new Aurifil club that they have going, and I'm going to do a Q&A at the end. So just pop in any kind of questions you have. We haven't done a Q&A in a while, and I will answer all the questions that come in. And we've been seeing a lot of sales reps lately. It's kind of like that buying season, and I recently met with my Moda sales rep, and I'm really excited to sew with all the little cap sets that we get that are left over. So I'm going to show you the group and just kind of show you what we're offering at Fat Quarter Shop, and so we'll just get started. So the catalog, you can find this catalog. It's issue 59, July 2023, and this is what they show to all the quilt shops. The cover girls this time are Sherry and Chelsea, and their collection is Strawberry Lemonade. And so I'm just going to go through the catalog in order. And this is a great synopsis of the mother and daughter team, the son, how they work together, you know, their design process, you know, all the growth and all of that, and a little bit about the inspiration for their fabric. And I will tell you, and this is Chelsea's family, Billy is the one that films all their videos on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to them, their channel is A Quilting Life. So this is kind of a summary of the collection, and there are patterns from both Chelsea Stratton Designs and Quilting Life Designs. So it's a mother-daughter pair. Some of the PDFs are available now, some will be available later, and then the paper patterns should arrive any day. They're kind of releasing them in 2 batches this time. So this is Strawberry Lemonade by Sherry and Chelsea, ships in January. And here's an overview of it. And we are going to be doing a coordinate fat quarter bundle with these 8 solids. So it's going to be the ones that Moda list, so that will be available. We are pre-selling this collection, and I'm sure you've seen a lot about this collection already on their channel. They've already released 3 videos on this collection. So they did one showing every single print, which I'm about to show you, and then they've done 2 with new patterns. And I'm excited to say that this year this is going to be our charity collection for 2024. So I'm going to lay them out and then I'm going to flip through them, but they're so beautiful. Really fun, and I'm going to show you a lot of quilts. So this one's kind of an all over, it'd be a great backing. This is something new we're trying. This is going to be Cloud White Pinwheel. That's what they're calling it, and we are going to be selling it as yardage, and we're going to be offering a 15-yard bolt. And so if you want, you can click to be notified if you want to see that. And then this is my favorite. This is the one I would probably use. It's an older print recolored. So really pretty. I love the gray. This one has some gray in it. And with these cap sets, I'll be sewing up some scrappy blocks to show you. And that'll be fun because it'll give you a chance to see how it looks actually made up. And there's 2 orange SKUs. And then there's 2 different pinks, kind of a medium and a hot. And I'm going to save the last print for last. You guys are going to love it. This is that circle print. And this one I think is a newer print. It's like a little flower it's like leaves and flower. So really fun. The gingham's really small. It's kind of a smaller gingham. But I'm excited about our charity quilt for 2024, and I'm excited because a lot of you have shown interest in it, and so that's good because we're always a little bit nervous when we launch something because, you know, we want to make sure that you guys like it. This one has 2 yellow greens, I would call them, and then true greens. So I would say this collection mixes and matches with previous collections. It is a little bit brighter though, so it won't match with every single print they've ever done. It's a total of 32 prints. And so we're pre-selling the pre-cuts, and then you can click to be notified when the bolt comes in, or this print, which I saved to the last. Put that there. This is, in this collection, in this release, Moda has 2 different 60-inch wide prints. So this one's 60 inches wide, and I'm going to be showing it to you because it's featured in our charity quilts in a little bit, but it is this print right here is basically this. And if you put that on a back of a quilt, it's amazing because it looks kind of like you pieced it. So let's see, I have a question from Kimberly Trimmel. So when you're looking at this, these two at the top are orange. These are a true pink, and this is a hot pink. So there's two oranges, lots of pinks, and then with the green, like I said, there's two yellow oranges and then true greens. So next I'm going to show you our Moonbeams quilt. It's our Make-A-Wish 2024 quilt, and it finishes at 68 by 80. And this one is going to be a little bit more intricate than last year's. It is suitable for intermediate to experienced quilters, and Jocelyn designed it, and she kind of started with the dove on the ends of the quilt, and we made this one just a little bit harder. This one this year was pretty easy. It didn't sell as great as we would have liked to, and we didn't raise as much money for charity as I would have liked to, so we did something totally different. Now, like I said, the collection ships January, but this program will go from March to September 2024, and just like this year's Bountiful, we will be showing detailed tips on making it each month. Again, 68 by 80. The background is a custom color. Do you have that? Okay, we're gonna try to grab it. So we actually had a custom color made for that navy, and you can only get it at Fat Quarter Shop. And then our backing is really fun. We took a long time on our backing. So like I said, at the top and the bottom is that 60-inch wide. And then we did kind of a simple star, but we left a lot of white space so that it would be easy to either sew in a label or applique a label, or, you know, stitch your name, or sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the navy. So here's the navy, and this will be what we're using for, you can see it on the back, but also on the front. And if you are a member, you're going to see a sneak peek and a little bit about how we choose the actual blue that we use. So if you're a member, you're going to kind of see that, which is really fun. So that's our charity quilt. And then Fizzy Fruit quilt is going to be a Jolly Bar kit, 56 by 59. It uses one Jolly Bar. I'm really loving the design of this, so I was thinking that I might just use that design as something for a scrappy quilt next year. The next quilt is Botanical Remix. Now this one is a Moda kit. So this one is packaged by Moda, and you can tell because it says kit right here. It's 68 by 81, and the pattern is Chelsea Stratton, and you can click to be notified when it comes. And then we also have a custom backing that we're selling. So that is the first collection, Strawberry Lemonade by Sherry and Chelsea. This one is my favorite. It's my favorite they've ever done, and I really think it'd be fun to just make some plain pillows out of this with some hand quilting on it. The second group is called Julia. It's designed by Crystal Manning. And this is the group all over. It's 27 prints, and it's got a kitschy vibe. I'm not sure if I'm saying that word right. This one is just coming soon, so you can't pre-order it. You can just click to be notified, but it's got a kitcheny feel, very, I would say 40s, 50s vibe, really fun. And then this is, it is black, but it is more, it's got a brown tone to it. So I'm not a fan of black, but this one right here, these two have more brown, so I would be willing to use those two. So again, Julia by Crystal Manning. This one will also have a Bella Solid Fat Quarter bundle that matches, and we use the catalog to get the SKUs. That way the designer has picked them and we know they match. So pinks, you know, a very 50s red. This is a gingham, and these are dots with little daisies. flowers, and then some other polka dots. Yellow. So really fun. So you'll have to let us know like what your favorite prints are. It's really fun just to touch the fabrics and think of all the things you can make with them. And then this is, like, again, like I said, like if you look at just these, that is so like 50s or 60s. I don't know. I wasn't alive then, but something, an era before my time, but really like this one. This is Crystal Manning is a modern designer, and you know, I don't sew with a lot of modern things, but I love this collection. I really love it. I just like the prints and the colors. This one has one quilt kit called Bessie. It's a Moda quilt kit that's 66 inches square. So sorry, I just dropped that on the floor. So I'll show it to you in the catalog. It's 66 inches square, and it is designed by Chrissy Lux of Branch and Bloom, and it's layer cake friendly. And I would say it looks pretty intermediate to me, but really fun. The next collection we bought is Honey Bloom by Three Sisters, and this one is really a very traditional line. We are pre-selling it. There isn't a Soma pattern with it, but you can see it's very like light, pale blues, yellows, grays. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but shabby chic is pretty much, you know, a trend and coming back. This weekend I went to the store, what's the name of that store I go to? Pink, Love Shack or something, Love something. The Bedding, Love. We went to it in Nashville. Love. I don't know, Brittany took me to it in Nashville, remember? Anyway, there's one in Austin. I went there this weekend. I was gonna try to get new bedding, and then I saw the price and was like, yeah, I think I'll go home. I think I have an ice cream cone and go home. So really just classic colors, beautiful prints. Yellows. And these are like little flowers, ferns. So what are you guys doing this Tuesday night? I want to see what you guys are doing. I'm missing the guy that I usually watch. He comes on the same time. So I was like, oh, I'm missing my guy. Definitely 40s and 50 vibes. Reminds me of some of the prints on cotton tablecloths. Yes. We're watching from Maine. First time here. Oh my gosh. Thank you. So fun. And you guys are really liking the Bessie quilt, which I like that pattern a lot. And then the grays. So the grays do range from darker to lighter and a very soft color. But this is the one that I like the best. And when I was looking at this group, I was thinking if I made something, I would kind of do, I was thinking I would do something like this, where I picked, like, if you do this, I feel like more of your yellow is going to come out. Oh, Love Shack Fancy, yes. Oh my gosh, I love that store. I walked in there and I was like, I think we need to leave. We cannot afford this store. It's so cute. But and they had a vintage quilt in there. It was so awesome. Oh, first time for Edith Davis. Awesome. Watching from Kansas. So that's Honey Bloom by Three Sisters, ships in January. And the two quilts we have are Dewdrops, 52 by 64. It's charm pack friendly. And so it's charm pack friendly. It uses our 5-inch square and a square paper to give those really nice points. And the next kit is Bee's Knees. It's going to be a Jolly Bar pattern that's 61 inches square using one Jolly Bar. So my first collection that I showed you was my favorite. This is my second favorite. This is Old Glory. And this one has a lot to it, and I just love it. This is, the kit is going to be called Miss Americana. I'll show you a bigger picture in a little bit. These are going to be the patterns by Layla Boutique, who designed this fabric. It ships in February. We're pre-selling the bundles. And there's really, if you follow Layla Boutique on Instagram, she did a really cute post on this grand finale and showed how she showed it in 3 different Bella options. So like white, a blue, a gray, which is really fun. So I'll start with the 2 panels. Well, actually, 1 panel, Sweet Land of Liberty. It's 36 by 44. Look at how beautiful it is. Now, usually in the past, they have done her panels in pre-packaged bags. This time, to keep the cost down, they're doing this on bolts, so it is a little bit more affordable. And look at those beautiful flowers. I usually have her panels quilted, just basically with a minky on the back, but I'm thinking this time that I will quilt it. I'm gonna leave it right here and show you what I'm gonna do. This is the second 60-inch wide fabric. And I have a great tip from my sales rep. So my sales rep was mentioning how a lot of her stores will ask for fabrics that have a design to it. So if you're a new long arm quilter, you can practice your stippling or your feathers. And she said because this one has a lot of starts and stops, this one would be really good to practice on. But I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the panel. Let me see. And then back it with this. And then I'll put probably, let's see. I would probably put that as a binding so that it kind of pulls from both sides. So 60-inch wide. So the 60-inch wide is obviously more expensive per yard, but really fun because if you make a smaller quilt, you can just put a 60-inch on the back and not have to quilt it, chenille it. That looks fun. Well, my favorite white on white bee bolt coming in soon. I'm on the notification list. I've been waiting on it too. I hope it comes. It's supposed to come any day. It was supposed to come earlier in the month, so I hope it's any day because I actually am wondering too. So this is the floral. The panel is just coming soon item, and you can order it when it comes in. This one is the second quilt that we're going to be offering as yardage or a bolt. So in this collection, there is. We're trying that and just seeing how it goes. But the colors in this are amazing. So I am definitely going to make a quilt out of this. I have kind of some ideas, but I don't want to say what they are yet because I have been known to change my mind, and then I kind of feel bad for saying I'm going to do something when I don't because I changed my mind. But this will definitely be sewn up into a couple of quilts. I've already colored it in the bitty brick house to do. And the stripe, I did want to mention the stripe this time has vintagey. It's not a straight stripe. It's got some vintage piece, like vintagey look. And so does this one. And there is that darker navy that's in the panel, but it's really not in the collection. So there really isn't like a navy, if that makes sense. So you can really see the vintagey from here. The smoky blue is delicious, Leslie. Log cabin quilt would be so pretty. Yeah, this one is called Old Glory. So really pretty. And I'll show you the quilt. So the very first quilt is called Every Heart Beats True. It's a Jolly Bar pattern. It's 34 by 54, and so we kind of did, you guys really liked the Liberty box and the flag from that, so we kind of thought that maybe, you know, y'all might like us to continue the flag theme, so we did that. And then the Miss Americana quilt is 65 by 72. That is a Layla Boutique pattern that's 65 by 72. We will have a backing, and Vanessa is going to be a guest this Friday. So in 4 days, this Friday, she's going to be our guest, and we're going to have a trunk show. So we can talk. We'll have the fabric out if you want to look at it more in detail or ask questions, and she's going to do a trunk show. So that's going to be awesome. This one, let's see. I think we're doing a half-yard bundle of these 4 Bellas. And then Ridgewood is by Minnick and Simpson, and they have 3 new patterns. And everything should be online except the patterns. Yeah, the Old Glory Coordinates does have a 4 solid half-yard bundle. So Ridgewood, if you look, doesn't have Bellas listed. And this one would really mix with some older Bunny Hill collections. So I'm going to show you the collection, and this one is so pretty. I love Finale. Will you have it as a kit? No, not that one. Oh yeah, no, not that one. We don't have that one planned as a kit. There's another one we're thinking of kitting instead of that one, but I haven't made a decision yet. But this one's definitely cream. Really pretty. The trunk show will be at our normal time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Definitely not 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I'm in bed. I hope you kit the fireworks pattern. Well, we got a lot of requests. Somebody, yeah, well, you know what? I'll look into that. So we'll look at that pattern and maybe kit it since you guys are asking. I love Old Glory and I'm Australian. Yeah, it's so pretty. So really pretty. This one, I don't know what I'm going to do with, but I definitely have to make something out of it. I kind of wish I had this when I was making the Summer Memories quilt that's so long. This would have been great, and it came in like right after I was finished. So that one actually, Teresa pieced all the blocks together and sent it to the quilter, so you guys will get to see that soon. The Ridgewood does not have a jolly bar. And so this one's really, sometimes I think it's fun to look at it like all together. And you wouldn't even, if you didn't like the tan, you could take that out and just have tan accents. So there's a lot of possibilities with this one. Okay, everyone wants a firework quilt kit. Okay, so I'll work on that. I'll add it to my list. Sorry, my catalog keeps flipping. So this is On the Bright Side by Me and My Sister Designs. It's a February delivery. We are pre-selling it. And this one really goes back, if you have been a Moda lover or Me and My Sister lover for a while, this kind of goes back to their colors they kind of got into like their 2nd or 3rd year of designing. There are some Wendy Shepherd patterns. The one in the bottom right is going to be a quilt kit from Moda. I'll show it to you in a little bit. And this is the collection. So kind of softer, still bright, but softer. And this one does have a fat quarter bundle of 8 solids. So again, On the Bright Side, all of these will have, all of these collections will have fat quarter bundles and layer cakes, jelly rolls, charm packs. And then this one, I think they've done this print like years and years ago. And this one's really fun because it's basically this print in a white on white. So you can kind of see it. Yeah, the plaid is really fun. And the yellow is fun. Very, oh, help if I got it on the camera. So really, you know, preteen, really cute. But I love the color palette the most because it's not as bright as their normal ones. So definitely looks like Easter. Definitely. But so fun. And it's interesting because if you look at the two plaids, they look different, but they're the same. It's the color placement of it. It would make a pretty Easter table runner. And that's really fun and funky. And then this, I would say, is more teal, less aqua, more teal. So really fun. Patricia says it looks like the 80s. And then I'll show you the quilt kit. It's called Sweet and Spiffy Quilt Kit. It's kitted by Moda. It's 72 inches square. The pattern, again, is by Wendy Shepherd and ships February. Ridgewood is shipping in February. I might not have said it. The next collection is called Antoinette by French General. We are pre-selling this one. These kits right here, or these patterns, use a lot of the panels that I'm going to show you in a little bit. So they look like they're applique, but they're actually panels. And then this is the collection overall. So sometimes sometimes Kari designs just red and white. Sometimes she adds blue. Sometimes she adds more tan. Do I have more viewers at night or on Friday mornings? I don't know. Do you want to see? Tonight. Oh, Jordan says tonight. Maybe I should come to work every night. I could do a live every day. I could just sit on here and sew. I'm really just kidding. I have a lot of children I need to take care of. These are the French General Solids that you see in here are older ones that we keep in stock. And so they'll be on the page. And we do have some French General Solid fat quarter bundles. They kind of go in and out of stock based on stock availability with Moda, but it's something kind of evergreen that we keep all the time. It's really pretty. So very classic. And then I think some of you guys are going to really like the panel. It's I don't remember if she's ever done a panel like this one before. I think she might have years ago, but so her red always sells the best, always. So that's Antoinette. I'm going to show you the panel. The panel is 35 by 42. So it's 35 inches this way. It comes in 3 colors. So there's the blue. And the blue is lighter. It just looks dark because it's on top of that red. And then you've got the red and the cream. So it's 35 inches. And what they did is they put it on the bolt where the stores would cut it in between this. So you can't use that. But it gives you this extra amount over here if you need more of a seam allowance. And these are about 10 and 3/4 inches. So these could be used as center pieces in quilts like this one, which you'll see in a little bit. So the Parisian quilt is going to be our Jolly Bar kit. It's 56 by 72. And since we, a lot of the quilts had light backgrounds, we decided to do a dark background with this. And then the 9 Patch Trails quilt is going to be something we feature on our video channel, or we're going to feature on YouTube, but it's going to be a video kit. It's 66 inches square, and it's going to be a demonstration on how to use the 6-inch squareness square paper to get the look of that vintagey look. And then the Queen's Grove kit is a Moda kit, 60 inches by 75, and the pattern is by French General. And if you look at that, that basically puts those panels as centerpieces, and those cornerstones are really cool. So that's Antoinette by French General. Antoinette, I don't know if I said it right. And then ships January. The next collection is called Chickadee Landing by Kansas Troubles, and she will have, this time she's doing patterns. Sometimes she does booklets, sometimes she does patterns. So the Antoinette is pre-sold, yes. The pre-cuts are pre-sold. So Chickadee Landing by Kansas Troubles Quilters, and her last group was called Back to Basics, and we sold out of that pretty quick. So we don't usually sell out of her stuff, but that one we did really well. So a lot of these creams, I feel like might be older prints that are just recolored. I love looking at the new fabric, but tell me about the beautiful bracelet on your left wrist. Okay, I love this company called Lagos, Lagos. I love it. I have so much of their jewelry. It's ridiculous. But I would love to get more. I have to stay off that website. I'm on their like text message list and they send stuff. So really, if Kevin ever buys me any, he bought me this for our 20th anniversary actually. So it's the only thing Kevin will actually like, he just knows he can go there and just buy something. But he maybe once a year will buy me something from there. But I have to stay away from Nordstrom and away from the website because I had to put myself on a block. I had to just be like, you can't buy anymore. But yeah, that's where I got it. What size is next year's charity quilt? I'm gonna look. 68 by 80. And these are black. So these are navy and these are black. So really, really traditional. One of the very first quilts I ever made was using Kansas treble quilts. It was called the Oregon Trail. I bought the cross ring you wear often. Oh, thank you. That's so neat. I want them to sponsor me so that I can have some free jewelry. Vintage Sweetwater, because I got to stop buying it. Kevin had to just be like, okay, you have too much. And he's bought me stuff before that I already have, and he's like, that should be a sign that you need to stop buying stuff. So this is Vintage by Sweetwater. There will be 3 patterns. This one I believe will be applique. And this one is my 3rd favorite. So I really want to make something with this. And if you want to look at something fun, if you go to Sweetwater's Instagram or Facebook, they go back years and years to their very first collection. And some of these prints are from earlier because it's vintage. So it's like older prints recolored. How many colleges has Emma visited? She's done 2, well 3, but she wants to go to TCU in Dallas. I'm trying to take her other places that are more affordable, but my niece, her cousin, went to TCU and loved it. And her and my brother have been like in Emma's ear about going to school there. And she doesn't want to leave Texas, so I think that if I had to predict, I would think she'll end up there, even though I would love for her to go somewhere else. Chickadee Landing will be releasing in February. Would I ever consider a charity quilt with neutrals? Probably not, just because with the charity quilt, we try to do something really bright and fun. And then I see some other questions I'm going to hold till the end. The fabric for the charity quilt was the very first one, so you can rewind and see that. This one has a lot of the text prints that you've seen before. And this is navy. Now, one thing is, I did do a big cleanup of my sewing studio. And there's a club, I don't even know if they still offer it, but it's the Sweetwater. You get it once a quarter. And I have so much Sweetwater fabric. So I've decided that I'm gonna eventually sew all of that into some kind of sampler quilt. So I'll have to add this to it. So this is Vintage by Sweetwater. We're pre-selling it. There is a half-yard bundle because it only has 5 solids that we're gonna be offering. And this one right here is the same print as this one, the little X's. So this next collection is called Imaginary Flowers by Gingerbur. Ships in February. 3 new patterns by Gingerbur. And then this is the collection overall. So very big, fun. This one is the same print in white. So this one ships in February, and a lot of the prints are just really big. This one's really fun. This would make a cute pillowcase. And this is definitely gold. The bottom one is definitely like a gold with a touch of green. The color tonight is looking pretty accurate. So, and I'll sew stuff up in these and show it to you before the fabric comes out. That way you can see like if you like it. Because if you see it sewn up and you don't like it, then that would mean don't buy it. And this one, I'm not a fan of green, but these three greens are really nice. Gig'em, Holly Martin. Okay, Holly, what did she say? She said go to A&M. I don't think Kevin would let her go to A&M. She would like to go to UT. She would love to go to UT, but you have to be in the top 6.5%, and she's not. Is there an advantage to pre-ordering fabric other than you will get it if it sells out? Yes, it's a slightly lower price, and it ships like before we even load it to the website. And then this is definitely like a black kind of magnolia modern. So this one, if you did, you'd have to do something really funky with this one. You'd have to use like big, maybe a pattern, like a K-facet type pattern. If you work at TCU, your kids go virtually free. My kid did that, yes. Yes, my brother actually works at TCU, but I don't think he's gonna, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna get my daughter. So yeah, my brother's really talking it up. He works there, yeah. I'm sure I'm not gonna get a discount. Okay, let's see. Holly says she went to A&M but spent weekends in Austin, yes. So this is Noah's Ark by Stacy Itsu, and these are her new patterns. This baby all wrapped up is an older pattern she recolored. Ships January. We're pre-selling this one, and there are 2 panels I'll show you after, but as a summary, the animal book panel is 36 by 60. The cut and sew panel makes a Noah's Ark and all the animals 36 by 60, so they are slightly different prices. And this is the one made up. And then this is the collection overall. It makes me want to have a little kid, just to have a little fun quilt to make. So suns, all the animals, raindrops, really fun. I think this one will be really popular. So cute. Where do you get the pre-order prices? They're on the website, on Fat Quarter Shop. Are there only 2 cap sets? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a small group. This one's only 22 prints. I didn't realize that. And this is cream. And we have some quilt kits with Colorado has some good schools. Yeah, she doesn't want to leave Texas. She's a little scared to leave Texas, but that's why I took her on tours, because I think she should look. And she's not even a junior yet. I mean, she's about to be a junior, so she's got time. So this is the Noah's Ark book panel, and so the left has all the instructions on how to make the book. And at first I thought it was going to be Noah's Ark themed, but it's more sounds. It's not like a biblical story is what I thought it was going to be. And on these, I said the sizes earlier. Let's see. So this one, so cute. So it's the front, the back, the arc. We're let's see, and we have some kits with these. So the first kit is 2 by 2. It is one of our Little P patterns. So Little P is actually Peyton, my son. We named the series of patterns after him. It's 43 inches square, and because that's such a cute print, we just thought let the fabric shine with a simple patchwork. And then Layer Cake Shake is gonna be a video quilt, so it'll be a free video pattern, 56 inches square, and that one we just wanted to do something fun and kids. And then I'm gonna show you my favorite 3 together. So my first one is Strawberry Lemonade, and then you guys start telling me your favorites so I know. I already know which one is pre-selling the best, I do know that. So Strawberry Lemonade is my favorite. I guess I shouldn't say favorite, but it is. So Strawberry Lemonade, Old Glory, by Layla Boutique. And Vintage by Sweetwater. So those are my favorites. So these will all ship January, February, and I'll be showing blocks made out of all the fabrics before it comes out, and you know, any kind of upcoming sew-alongs. You know, I'll be using a lot of these fabrics. I'm also going to show you some new Ruby Star collections. Oh, Old Glory, Strawberry Lemonade, Honey Bloom. This collection is called Meadow Star by Alexia Abig. It's shipping in February. So very modern, and they also have a collection that you can look at online called Starry that will be a basic. The way Moda does it is if it sells well, it'll be a basic, but it's basically some of the older Starry prints, colored miniature, and some of them colored just different in the same scale. So but we don't have fabric on those. And that one's actually coming out pretty soon. This one is not coming until February. Yeah, Strawberry Lemonade is a lot of your favorites. I'm not ordering the April Rosenthal one as of now. And then the next Ruby Star is called Rise and Shine by Melody Miller. Melody Miller, ships in January. So these are just some bigger scale prints. Yeah, it's fun to see what you guys think are your favorites, because it's kind of very similar amongst you guys. And these are oranges. People like Ridgewood, Strawberry Lemonade, Old Glory, French General, Three Sisters. And that's really, this has a cute like Baptist fan on it. And then this is kind of a not aqua, it's teal with a little bit of blue, and so you can see those Baptist fan right there. And this one does have a late 70s vibe to it. Yes. Okay, and now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the brand new Thread Labs by Aurifil. And then we're going to do Q&A and just have fun, where we just sit and chat. And so you just start throwing your questions in, and we'll just sit and chat. We'll sit and chat for like an hour, whatever you guys want to talk about. So this is Aurifil Labs. It's called Thread Labs. And so it is something new that Aurifil is offering to the quilt shops. So it's a 6-part subscription series that tells the story of Aurifil for their 40th anniversary, and it talks a lot about their history, their production process, and then really this is all about education on threads. So this is the July box. I'm going to show it to you and then talk more about it. So between July and December, you would get a box. Each box is different. They don't tell us in advance. They don't tell any of the shops in advance what it's going to be, because it's like a new thing. So I'm going to show you what came this month and talk about the different educators that they're going to have. So I didn't subscribe to this club, but I'm going to actually subscribe now because I was really happy with what we got. I was a little bit intimidated because I didn't know what we were going to be getting, and I was worried because it's like $100 each month, and that's a lot for 6 months. That's a ton of money. But this one right here, I would definitely keep this page. This has all 8 different types of weight. So it talks about the ply, how many colors it comes in, how many yards is on a spool, or how many meters if you're in Europe. And it talks about the cotton 80 weight, cotton 50 weight, cotton 40 weight, the 43, that's I think this one is used for long arm quilting, so it's different than this one. cotton 28 weight, cotton 12 weight, Aurifil, and wool. I've never used the wool, but I've used everything else. But this is amazing, and I'm gonna actually put this on my pegboard in my sewing room. So one thing that I really have limited knowledge on is sewing machine needles. We get so many questions about sewing machine needles, and I never know what to answer, and I'm always just relying on you guys in the chat to really tell us. But this one tells you that with 80 weight, you should use a size 70 needle. Well, I didn't know that. When I used a 90 or 80, so that's probably why it broke. But this one's great because it tells you with each of these threads what needle to try. So I'm gonna keep this. This is good to keep. Let's see. This one is about the history of Aurifil. But the most important part of this is you basically scan, or you open your app, you open your photo app and you click on it, and it basically each month you get a pattern. And this month's pattern it's all full of education. It's basically a pin cushion, and it uses all of the weights of thread that I'm about to show you. It's 22 pages of a pattern, and all of these threads are used. So it's called Aurifil Thread Exemplar, and that is the name of the pin cushion. It's called Exemplar Pin Cushion. So when you open it from the top, not the side. And so these are all the same color. It's color 2021, which is their most popular color probably. So you get a spool of 80 weight, a spool of 50 weight. Let's see. This one's 28. This one's 12. This one's wool, I think. This one's 40, and this is Aurifil. And when you click on this, it's going to tell you, even if you don't make the pattern, print it out and look at it, because it's going to have information. The educator this month for July's box, which is Karen Miller, and it has information on the needle you use, the stitch length, just different things. And so it's a great tool, even if you're not going to make the pin cushion, but it's different, something you could save with this paperwork. And I would consider getting like a binder with some little plastic sheets and put it in there so that you don't lose it, because it's a lot of great information. And these, we used to sell these, and they stopped making them or selling them individually. I'm not sure why. I don't know what happened. It was probably during COVID, but this is one where you could put your large spools in, like your 50 weight, 12 weight, not the cones, but the large spools. So they fit in nicely. That's how they fit in. It's funny, I just had some Aurifil just sitting right by my knee. Okay. And then you could even put these in there if you wanted to. This is going to be amazing. Now, this is not sold separately. I have never seen this before. I've been in business 20 years, and I've never seen one of these. So if this ever existed before, I have never seen it. It is a swatch book. And in here, it has every color. Now, not every color is available in every weight, but it tells you here. Right here. So it tells you if it's gray, it's 28 weight. If it's yellow, it's the 40 weight for long arm quilters. And so these are all the colors available. So if you sign up now, what I would do is sign up for Thread Lab 1.1. and then sign up for the club, and then put a note and just put charge me for the lower club price, because the price online after the club ships is higher. But you definitely, if you want to get July, if you want to get like August and the rest, you have to sign up now. And then once there's a limited spot, so we get a certain amount, and then that's all we can get. And then so once the club fills up, we won't have extras to sell. Over this time we have extras because nobody knew what they were getting. Nobody signed up, really. I mean, I didn't sign up. And then I don't know if you can get this somewhere else. Hopefully you can get it on the Aurifil site. I've never seen it before. That's why I saw it and was like, wait a minute, I need this. So I don't know. And I know this. I've never seen this before. And I like that it comes in this so that it can stay nice. And you could just put a little sticker on the outside to say what it is so you don't lose it. So I just wanted to show y'all that. Because we're having a guest Friday, you can use 80 weight in the bobbin. I have, but you use a 70 needle. Okay, so now I'm going to answer questions. So just go ahead, ask me any kind of questions you have. It can be about quilting, it can be whatever, and we'll just sit and chat for a little bit. Would it be possible to look into combining shipment costs for international customers who have multiple subscriptions? You can email Janelle, Janelle, at backwatershop.com. I don't remember how she does that. Now, a question that we just got is, okay, to sign up, search online for Thread Lab. There will be a club product and a Thread Lab 1.1. Buy both. And when you get to checking out, put a note and say, charge me lower for the club. And Janelle's going to actually go through the orders to see. So if you sign up for the club so that you can get the lower price. And then that way that guarantees you will, because basically when we place with Aurifil, it's kind of like the Banner Club subscription. Like when you buy, you get a certain amount and you can't reduce your order, you can't increase it. It's just like constant. They keep it the same. You can only pre-order like basically pre-cuts and then the charity quilt, not yardage. Are there any new collections from Laundry Basket? Yes, there's a lot. Now they don't show us anything on fabric. I don't see that on fabric. I see that on a picture on a website. We are seeing the sales rep, I think in 2 weeks, but we buy all of Laundry Basket quilts. We buy all of her yardage, all of her pre-cuts, everything. And if we had it on yardage, I would definitely show it to you. We just don't get it. We don't get it on yardage. Will I have another live for Riley Blake? Yes, because I have a live. Okay, so this Friday, I'm going to be showing you Vanessa Gertson, Layla Boutique Trunk Show. You can ask questions about her designing, her fabrics, all that stuff. The week after, I'm doing a surprise. Lori doesn't even know yet. It's going to be the Hometown Collection. I'm going to be showing you stuff that's made and sewn with it. I'm going to show you all the products with it. I'm going to show you some blocks from the Quilted Witch as a tease, and then I'm going to show you her next collection that's not online yet, and our sales rep will be coming and I'll be able to show you that. So it's going to be all about Lori Holt, Riley Blake, and then I don't even have storyboards from them yet, or I would show you, but they don't come out until August 1st. There was nothing in this catalog by Lisa Bonjean of Primitive Gatherings. There was nothing from Camille. So basically they get in the catalog every other time, if that makes sense. So they're not in every single time. And I think there's another really big designer that wasn't in there. So it kind of, so then when that's called the pre-market bucket. And then the market bucket will come out to stores just showing in October, and those will ship March, April. I love Strawberry Lemonade. Do you ever offer just low color bundles? We've done that before. We haven't done it lately. If we did that, which collection would you want us to try? The swatch book is real thread. Do you think we could zoom in, Jordan? Or do you think it will wig out? He's gonna see. I don't know if it'll, we'll see. Yeah, that's when Kevin saw it, he was like, oh my gosh, it's really nice. So, I mean, like, it's like, it'd be kind of like getting a Kona color card with real color, or Bella Solids. I mean, I've never seen one of these. I don't know if they're going to offer it separately. I have no idea, but it is real thread. And I'm pretty sure it's the 50 weight. And so everything's available in the 50 weight. These colors show you if it's available on the other weights. And the other weights, summary and color, are in the front. I mean, I'm gonna get this just because this is like a one-of-a-kind, like, collector's item type thing. I mean, I have the whole wall of Aurifil on my wall at home that you guys have probably seen, so this is like right up my alley. Linda Smith asks if the past charity quilt patterns are on Fat Quarter Shop. Yes, they are, and they stay on there for free. And then we basically just relink to the current charity fundraiser to keep raising money. And next year will also be Make-A-Wish. Is the strawberry lemonade jelly bar pattern the same as the Fizzy Fruits quilt kit? Yes. What does Emma want to study when she goes to college? I have no idea. None of my kids know. I try not to like push. I try not to ask. I think that they kind of need to figure it out on their own so that like they kind of have their own path. But none of my kids know, and I think that's weird. Oh, we have some super chats. Donna Bagshaw, thank you. And then Donna Marie, Beautiful Fabrics, thank you. Hi, Piggy. Oh, yeah, Piggy's not here today. Oh, thank you. I've been trying to get the Raleigh Blake flower patterns. Where can I buy it? Okay, tell me, if you, Minerva, if you can tell me what name of it is, I can tell you. What is the Fireworks quilt pattern? Okay, it's not called Fireworks. It's called Grand Finale. It's called Grand Finale. It's this one right here. So we'll kit it in the gray version. So we'll have to work on that, like look at ordering it, pricing it. I believe this is a Bella Solid. Lori Holt's Hometown Quilt Kits. Okay, there's two different quilt kits. So the seed packets, is that what they're called? Seed packets, the little houses, those are going to ship next week. The sew along will not ship until early August, mid-August. We wait until we get the final quilt along, sew along guide so that we give you the proper amount of fabric and we check the pattern before we send it. Our kits never have exactly what Riley Blake says. We always add extra. Nova and Cheryl spend hours going through it, making sure you get enough fabric. So yes, it is a pain to wait, but you get the accurate product where you can actually make it. Am I going to Sew Magical in Orlando in September? No, but I'm going to CrimeCon in September, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, do I know what Tudo trolley the Juki 2010 Q would fit in? Okay. So we're now carrying the Tudo bags. And so those are like the bags that are I don't own one, but they're supposed to be like where you can like drag them. They're more like a suitcase. The wheels are really nice. I've actually like looked at them at quilt shows. So if you go to the Tudo's website, you can look and it will tell you. And I believe that on our website, we might have like some different guides on there. But there is definitely a way to find out. And we're adding, I wasn't really sure how those would sell. So I added some and then I added more because they were selling. So I'm adding more and more colors as they sell. Someone posted that I would have to make a purple quilt if she went to TCU. Yeah, I know. I would. I don't know. I'm trying so hard to get her to go to like a state school, but it's really hard right now to get into UT, and that's really where she wants to go. And I don't know very many kids who are in the top 6.5%. That person would be Kevin Jolly. I was in the top 10%. I think she's top 12%, but she goes to a huge high school. So really hard to get into UT, easier to get into a top tier school out of state. But I'm trying to keep the cost down by not private and not out of state, but I'm not really sure. She doesn't really want to go out of state even. We'll just see. Will Red, White, and Bloom be a kit? Old Glory. Okay, so in Old Glory, we're going to have these two. This one is not a kit, but it is fat eighth friendly. So you could get a fat eighth bundle and then just yardage. You could add yardage. And if you're ever on our site, if you look at like a quilt pattern and you want to know the fabric requirements, you can click on that product and then scroll down and there are some additional images. And if you click on that, you should be able to make it big enough to where you can print it with all the fabric requirements. What is my favorite pattern? Gosh, I have so many. I love the Quilty Fun book. I love the Farm Girl Vintage. I love Swoon. I love, gosh, I really like samplers, so I always really like the Moda blockheads that they put together. Those are free. I like anything that isn't like, I don't really like patterns as much that are repetitive. I like to change it up. I am going to be sewing the Quilted Witch, and so that's going to be exciting. So I'm going to test the pattern. Will I be at the Dayton Quilt Show in February? No. Okay, so I don't usually go to quilt shows because if I go to a quilt show, I've already seen all of it, or I've already sewn with all of it. It's all old to me. I know that sounds horrible. And really, I really, like, when I'm not at work, I'm with my kids 100%. The only thing I ever do for myself is once a year I go visit Lori, and once every couple years I go to Crime Con. Anyway, those are the only two things I do that are not like my kids. The spools to my left, what pattern and collection? That is Biscuit from the Simply Jelly Roll book, and the Simply Jelly Roll book is at the printer right now. It's the Sunwashed collection by Corey Yoder. And then that's our charity quilt, same collection. Will Moda do another blockheads? Yes. So they announced on their Facebook page. So if you go to Moda Blockheads, there's a group. And also Moda Fabrics, they announced that they will be starting a Moda Blockheads 5 in September. I don't know anything other than what is on that post, but I'm definitely going to sew along. I haven't seen anything. So because I haven't seen the blocks, I haven't decided what I'm going to sew with. I was kind of hoping to be able to use Lighthearted because I really like that shabby chic look. So if the blocks complement that fabric, that's what I'll be using. We'll just have to see. I spend hours in the electric quilt program drawing and just making sure I like it before I sew it. The next Lori Holt stand will come out once yellow sells out. Will there ever be a red? Yes. But basically, we don't make them until that color sells out. I need a baby Jelly Roll quilt. Yes, Jelly Roll Jam would be awesome for a baby quilt. And Jelly Roll Twist. Those are both free patterns at Fat Quarter Shop. Will you have a quilt along to go with the next Jelly Roll book? Yes. And I can even tell you what I'm going to sew that in, except that Denise has to remember. Lighthearted. Okay, so I'm going to be sewing that in Lighthearted. We are going to be doing that Jelly Roll Day. So Jelly Roll Day is a Saturday. So that Saturday, I'm going to come in and I'm going to launch. We're going to celebrate Jelly Rolls. We'll probably have a coupon on Jelly Rolls. And I'll come in and I'm going to have the book, and then I'll have the guide that goes with it to tell you what you need to make. We're not ready to show it to you yet. We're going to show it to you after the book comes out. For the vintage Sunburst foundation paper, would it be possible to show a whole quilt made of these blocks 12 and 8? Yes, we have a sew along planned for 2024. Do you think that was on that spreadsheet we did? Can you check that later? So we actually had a meeting earlier today, and yes, okay, so we're planning 2024, and guess how many are on, you guys guess, and I'm going to see how many of you are close. We already have this many already on the list, and one of those is on there. It's going to be a free pattern layout that we give you to use with the paper, and that will not come until 2024. Am I planning a Christmas quilt? Yes. So we just finished Evergreen, or we're finishing up Evergreen. Are we finished? I think next week is we're done. That is a free pattern, so definitely just sew that. And then we are working on designing the 2024 Christmas quilt. I don't think I have anything planned that I'm sewing right now, except Teresa is sewing the Santa quilt. What Jolly Holiday for me. 16, okay, let me read them. 12, 32, 46, 110, 13, 15, 14, 25. Nobody's guessed yet. 31, 12, 47. Nope. Okay, hold on. Maybe somebody will guess. No, that's not the number. Type 2 more. Okay. Shelly Clark wins. Okay. Yes. Okay. So 19 are on our list, and that's like crazy. So we're going to do a live stream in October to kind of show you, and we did it last year, and we kind of show like the pattern, how I pick it. Of course, I do change my mind, but I try to like color everything before that live stream to see if I'm really, you know, like the look of it. I try to use fabrics that I love. I can give you a tease that we do have something very modern planned for 2024. Very modern, and I'm actually going to sew it. So that's like a big thing. Oh, thank you to the super chat from Lynn's So Imperfect. When can we expect the big Tula project? 2024. So that was what I was referring to. It's going to, what I don't want to say. My thread keeps snapping when I do my jelly roll tube. What weight thread is heavy duty? Okay, jelly roll tube, what is that? I don't know what jelly roll tube is. So I usually use 50 weight with jelly roll, with cotton fabric. The 28 weight would be way too thick. 12 weight would be too thick. I would do 10 weight. Sorry, it is 8 o'clock at night and this is like my bedtime. I would use 50 weight. 40 weight is lighter. I think. I would use 50 weight. And maybe adjust your tension. What is my favorite quilt pattern for layer cakes? Okay, layer cake lemonade. I love that pattern. How hard is it to learn electric quilt? Okay, Cheryl, I am not so great on computers. You can ask anyone in this room. I have to ask them to come to my office all the time. One time, Kevin was out of the office, Denise was out of the office, Jordan was out of the office, and Jocelyn was out of the office. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have anybody to call, to ask. Like, I don't even know what I think I might have asked Janelle. I don't know. I was desperate because I didn't know how to do something. If I can do it, you can do it, but it's very like beginner. So if you're like high tech, it might be too hard for you because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of low tech. I would like to know what true crime Kimberly is watching now. So on Hulu, like I said, I watched Ashley Madison, and then I watched, what was the other one? Oh gosh, true crime. Hulu. Huh? Betrayed. Oh my God, it's so good. He is so good. And then I've just been watching a lot of YouTube. Okay, so let's see what other questions we have. Scroll to that other page if you can. Oh, somebody says they use 40 weight for all quilts. Will there be a new Lori Holt book in the future? Yes, we're working on one. What are my thoughts on silk thread? I've never used it. I will say that with the Aurifil, I use 50 weight for quilting and 80 weight for, like if I want to do like a top stitch, but I don't really want to see it, 80 weight is awesome. And I have tried 80 weight in the top and the bobbin. And I've also tried 80 weight in the top and 50 weight in the bottom, and they've both worked. For the Aurifil Thread Lab, was there one or two things that we should order? I've got the Aurifil Lab in my basket, but I thought she said there was one other thing. So it's called Thread Lab 1.1, or if you just sign up for the club, you can just put in the notes, add first subscription. I have been wishing for a Tula Pink to design a cross-stitch piece. I will let her know. What is my favorite crime podcast? I like Generation Y, I like Zone 7, I like Body Bags, and I like Nancy Grace. Oh, super chat from Teresa Stradinger. I love your tutorials and tips. Thank you. Is it okay to use 50 weight for binding? Yes, I do. I use 50 weight for pretty much everything, and then I have a lot of the 80 weight. It's in a separate box. And I have to always find it. But I did organize my sewing room. We're going to do a blog post on it in August, but I organized my sewing room and I'm so excited. For applique, I use 80 weight. So let me show it to you. So I'm going to open this off camera so you don't see how bad it is, what I do. Electric quilt is helpful, and there is a book, but I think I learned by watching their tutorials on their website. We are not doing an advent box for this year, but it is on our list for the future. So this is the 80 weight. and it's thin, and it's specifically for applique. What is the status for the mystery quilt finishing kit and backing? So we added some spots left, and so if they're, I think they're still online, and if they're not, then they are all sold out. But we are working on okay, so we just finished designing, we meaning Jocelyn, the charity quilt, and all of the like notion-y things we're going to do with that. And then now we're working on designing next year's Christmas quilt, that's free, Halloween/fall quilt, that's free Valentine's quilt, and she's working on the designer mystery. I can give you a hint and tell you that AS is the designer's initials for the fabric collection. Is really cute. So it's basically, we have the shell done, and we're working on getting the blocks designed. When I starch a layer cake, do I spray both sides or just the top? So I spray the top where it is thick all the way through, and then when you lay it, it's thick, it's all the way through. So if you look at the back or the front, it looks the same. But I usually just spray the top. Is Lori Holt coming out with a Vintage Christmas 2 book? It's not on her list right now, but maybe it will be in the future. Can you get the chart that tells which needle for which thread to use? I don't know. You guys will have to look on Aurifil's site. I had never seen it before. So, but you definitely don't want to throw away this because it's got your QR code. Nancy Grace, what does she say about it? Go bad. Really? Oh, I love Nancy Grace. Sorry if you don't like her. I love her. Let's see, what stitch do I use for applique? I use just a straight stitch and go around the edge and use the Lori Holt interfacing and fold it over. You can also use a blanket stitch. Does Moda provide enough fabric in the kits to starch? Sometimes, sometimes not. We are doing a Christmas box this year. We've already sold out of it, right? Or has it come out yet? Yeah. It hasn't come out yet. Okay, sorry, we just finished the Liberty. So we have all these meetings, and like, oh my gosh. We're launching it soon, but it's the Liberty box is sold out, sorry. Hello from Ohio. Will it be Ann Sutton? Yes. There's a needle chart on Pinterest. Yes, so you can get a needle chart on Pinterest. Has Piggy been into any mischief? Well, he's starting a new daycare tomorrow. So it is like 105 here. And it is too hot. He needs to exercise. So we cannot take him for walks because it's too hot and our neighborhood is like got rocks. He will not go for a walk. So he has to have exercise because pugs get really fat if you don't exercise them. So I found a new daycare to take him to, and I'm just gonna take him a couple of times a week, but it's really been, also with him, he loves to be outside. So we also have to sometimes chase him and bring him inside to make him come inside, but it's just too hot right now. Like, it's too hot, and he needs to exercise. Have I ever used the liquid starch to soak your fabric? That's a great question. I have tried it. I just have not found a brand I like. I have tried 2 different ones, and it just doesn't give me the result that I'm wanting. I'm a beginner quilter. What is the best way to square up a quilt? So I usually square up the blocks as I go, and then the quilts, I usually don't trim the borders. I don't know, might have to just subscribe and watch me do that. I don't think I have an exact answer. When do I expect the Fab Farm quilt kit to be available? Hopefully any day. I think it's late. Do the Tula Pink boxed kits like Pining for You come with enough fabric to starch? I don't know. I've actually never made a Free Spirit quilt. That's one of those things where I would if it was me, I would just sit and read it and just, if it was me, and I would just adjust the pattern to make it work. Like I'd make it a little bit smaller or something. Kimberly Trimmel, this is my first live video with you and it's been great. I have ordered from your company and love it. I began in 2021, lots to learn. Can you please explain a Jolly bar? Yes, so Jolly is my last name. if you guys didn't know. And so years ago, we came out with a pre-cut called a Jolly Bar, and it's basically 5 by 10 inches. And so it's half of a layer cake or double a charm pack. We actually sell more of those than we sell of any other pre-cut. And we like it because it's a good price point and it gives you enough fabric, but not too much. And it comes with that free pattern inside of it. So really unique. Will I be making project videos with different designs like your past videos? Yes, so I'm basically continuing. We're basically planning for 2024, all of our videos. So basically we will have our shortcut quilts, our classic and vintage quilts, you know, all of our things. If you like Nancy Grace, I think you would enjoy Harvard lawyer Lee. I don't watch her. She's okay. She talks really slow, and I need to go. But Lori Holt watches her, so I know what she's doing because Lori and I talk about stuff all the time. When does the spooky box come out? After the Christmas one? Before? I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's past my bedtime. Oh yeah, sorry. I was scared I missed the holiday box. Sorry. So we have released the Liberty box and Valentine box this year. We have not released the Christmas box or the Halloween box. Okay, Cupid box sold out for this year. Jolly box not released this year. Spooky box not released this year. Liberty box sold out. Will the 60-inch strawberry lemonade be pre-ordered? No, it's just click to be notified. Oh, this is a great question. Michelle Green, what kind of drying rack do you use for starching and where did you get it? So I have 2 of them. I bought both of them on Amazon and I had to like measure. One of them goes over a bathtub and one of them's in a shower. The one that goes in the shower, when my in-laws come, we take it apart so they can obviously shower and then we clean the bottom so they don't slip. Well, that one we have taken apart and put back together so many times, it's basically almost like broke. And so I had, Peyton would take it apart and put it back together. He loves doing that stuff. And the last time he couldn't get it together. So then Kevin and him did it. And Kevin was like, I don't understand why you don't just buy another one. This is a pain. And I said, well, we'll just let it last a little bit more. But we got to get a new one. But it's on Amazon. I think it might be in my Amazon store. I don't know. But I went with size, inexpensive, and plastic. The Southern Yankee Crafts. Hi, Kimberly. I watch your videos and have subscribed to Fat Quarter YouTube, but you said something about being a member. How do I do that? And please and thank you. So on the bottom right, when you see our channel, you can put join. You can click join and there's like a member. And each month we do like we give coupons every month. We have a sew along that we're doing as a group and like little behind. I try to always save one thing that's like a behind the scene that you would only know if you're a member. So that's kind of what we do there. Socialites 3, that will be in 2025. So we have to skip a year. That takes up so much time. So we do that every other year because really we want to focus on the charity, the designer mystery. Those will always be every year. The socialites will be every other year. Am I going to do any more temperature quilts? Yes. So I am actually trying to come up with a design for next year. I have not enjoyed this year's, even though I think I designed it. I don't know. I did, Jocelyn. It's too hard. It's too complicated. And I ran out of some fabric. But in a future video in 3 weeks, when I do my quilt along progress, I'm going to talk to you about how I ran out, what I had to do to replace, that kind of thing. But I am caught up through like July 20th. Are we in July? July 20th. So I'm pretty much caught up through last week and it's really getting big. But I am designing something for next year. I'm envisioning something much simpler. Liberty box this year was fabulous. Love the pattern. Thank you. Am I still going to do a quilt with the saved half square triangles? Yes, absolutely. So I have 2 buckets. I don't have near enough. I thought by now I'd have a ton, but I don't. And so I'm just, I put in probably 20 or 30 this weekend. It's getting kind of thicker, but I need a lot more. Oh, Joy says she's won goodies for being a member and answering questions. Oh, I was really bummed with your April 1st joke, quilting and true crime with Kimberly. Oh my gosh, I told them not to do that. That was them. That was not me. I don't take no responsibility for that. I could totally do true crime, Kimberly. But I would just be this other person. Like, I am obsessed with that stuff. Like, I could tell you facts about BTK, the Green River Killer. I mean, all of them. I could give you their birthdays. Like, I am like psycho about it. It would just give you this look of somebody that you probably wouldn't like, because I'm really like into it, like with the psychology of it. I go too far. It's probably not for this channel. Kevin actually really, it disturbs him. And the other night, Emma was in the bed, and I said, okay, let's watch TV together. And so I put on Hidden True Crime, and Hidden True Crime is a lady from Salt Lake City named Lauren, and she was a reporter for a Utah news station. Her husband is a criminal psychologist. And so I was watching it, and Emma was like, Mom, I really need to ask you something. Do you ever watch something normal? Like, that's not like this? And I said, no, I don't. And she's like, you're so weird. Like, it's just, something's wrong with you. So I just don't know that y'all would want to see that side of me. I just, yeah, it's a total different thing. I will tell you, my family was, well, I was home, Emma was home, my boys were out of town this weekend. They went to basketball camp. I watched true crime for like 5 days straight. And then I was like, I don't have anything else. Like, I need to leave the house. I need to do something. I want to cut border fabric lengthwise. How do you starch such a large piece? Okay. So what I do with that is I will cut my fabric, like say it needs to be 60 inches wide. I'll cut it 70. And then I'll subcut about, say I need 4 strips that are 6 inches. That would be 24 inches. I would add 5 inches. I would cut 29. So I would just cut that piece. Now, I will tell you that Teresa, who's been doing a lot of starching for me, today I gave her a piece. Was it 8 or 6? It was big. It was like this. I think it was 6 3/4 yards. And I said, are you going to starch it in one piece? Or are you going to starch it in sections? And she said, oh, I'll do it in one piece. I have a whole, what'd she say, setup? I have a whole setup. So maybe we can eventually get her to show you the setup of how she does it, because I don't know how she does it. So I usually kind of do a little section. Do I spray on the top of a towel or on the counter of a bathroom? So I have a very inexpensive Walmart ironing board. I do have a really nice Lori Holt cover on it. And what I do is I put, I take scraps of fabric that we don't use here that are white, and I lay it down. And then after I starch all my fabric, I'll let that like solid fabric dry so it doesn't get too crunchy, if that makes sense. But I do try to protect it with that. But yeah. And I just wash, like if I need to, I'll just wash the Lori Holt cover, and then I wouldn't dry it. I would hand dry it. Any suggestion on what to do with the chicken cross stitches? Oh my gosh. There's the cutest cross stitch we showed about 3 weeks ago. And a lady, I can't think of her name right now, but she has a wooden piece, and she put 3, was it 3 or 4? And it was like 6, there were 6 holes for frames, and it was a shelf. I'm looking right now. We're looking for the picture to see if we can find it. Yes, okay. So Donna Storm, do you think we could pop that up? We'll try to pop it up. So Donna Sturm, she posted this on Kimberly Stitch Squad, and it is the first 6 Chicken Club cross stitches, and she put them in frames, and then she added vintage trim. So we're just gonna find the image, and she said she got the frame at Hobby Lobby, but it's really cute. So that, I love that. And then she did say that the next 6 she's gonna do a different finish, and so I'll share what she does. Donna Sturm. Will there be another triangle paper quilt along? Probably in 2025. Can you add that to our list? We have a big old list. Yes, but probably not next year. Okay, this is a great question. What is the main difference between Bella solids, Kona solids, and confetti solids? Honestly, I think they're all great. I prefer Bella. I don't know why. Kona seems a slightly bit thicker, and Confetti seems a slightly bit thinner. But I love the color of Bella 200 and Bella 98. So, but other than that, I don't know. Have I met Joe Kenda? No, but I want to so bad. So he does a cruise, and if he ever does one, I'm going to go on it. Because I haven't gone. Well, yeah, I haven't gone on that, but I like him because he tells the truth, and he, sometimes you just need, that's why you can't have true crime Kimberly, because I will say it like it is, and I will say what I think, and you don't need to see that, because it's not always, I always just say what I think. It's kind of like Nancy Grace. I say what I think on true crime, and it's like a whole different, like quilting is fun and all that. True crime, I get obsessed, and y'all just don't want to see that. What is the easiest way to cut yardage? 3 yards, for example. So I usually buy extra and then cut off, but I would say you could cut off in little, what I do for my bigger quilts, like this weekend, I was working on, what quilt was I working on that was big? Let me think. I was working on something for quilt-alongs, and I just, oh wait. Barnstar. I kept just cutting half yards off, and then I cut a half yard, and then I cut it into fat quarters, and I just use that for each, and then hopefully don't run out. Will I be sewing with the new fig tree fabric linen cupboard this fall? Okay, so I was inspired by that collection. One of my do you know what month that's going to be, the layer cake loop? My little video? I think it's August or September.
It was August, but I think it's now September.
Okay, so in August or September, one of those months, we have a sew with me, and I was inspired by that collection, and I took all of those fabrics and cut up. I'm gonna make the layer cake loop. Is it loop? Layer cake loop. And I'm gonna make the lap size, and I cut all of the linen cupboard into that, and then I added more collections to it. So yes, I'll be sewing with it, but it's gonna be like mixed with other things. Would it be possible to show a sneak peek of how you organize your fabrics? I don't have any photos yet, but yes, what I ended up doing was buying some more containers at Container Store, and then I bought some really inexpensive plastic labels that are pretty big like that, and they're pink and they're really cheap, and they just go on there. And then I bought some Avery labels and then labeled each one. So basically what I'm trying to do is do like a section of Lori, a section of Fig Tree, a section of like Sherry and Chelsea, Corey Yoder, all the designers I use over and over, and then that way I can go by designer, because before it was kind of a mess. Now Lori's stuff is all in one cabinet, but the stuff that doesn't fit in the cabinet is now labeled, but at least I know where it is. Who's my favorite Dateline host? For sure, Keith Morrison. And I have a photo with all of them. That was like one of the best things ever. I got to meet them at CrimeCon. Super nice. His voice is like just the same in person. They're all super down to earth, funny. But yeah, I have met them. I've met Nancy Grace. I've met, gosh, I don't know, Cheryl McCollum, Joseph Scott Morgan. I also listen to Crime Talk on YouTube. I also listen to him. I listen to, I'm trying to think of her name. Gigi is her name, and she has a podcast. She's from South Carolina. I listen to her podcast or her YouTube channel. I can't think of the name of it. I'm sure one of you will know. What would you do if you were not doing Fat Quarter Shop? I would be an accountant, and I would play with numbers and sit at my desk. I'm a super introvert. You guys like don't really realize that, but I don't really talk. Like, I just like to sit and play with spreadsheets and like computer stuff, like reports and stuff. I like to do that. So I'd probably be a CPA. I am a CPA, so I'd probably do accounting. Yeah, this is a good question, Erica. Can you explain the difference between an accent fabric and a background fabric? Yes. Let me kind of just look and see if I can find one. So like this would be considered a background, And this light blue would probably be an accent. That'd be an example of something. And when we write our patterns, we try to use, that's one of the terms that we use a lot. The accent, we use that a lot. So we usually use background, accent. I'd love to see a foundation paper packet for a Lone Star block. Okay, I'll add it to our list. We're working on some new papers. We're working on 2 sew-alongs with 2 future sew-alongs. One will start this year, one will start in 2024 using the papers, because I don't want you to buy the papers and them to sit there. I want you to like actually use them. And I did make some log cabin blocks this weekend using scraps, but then I have some other stuff I'm doing with log cabin blocks that'll be fun to show you in a couple of weeks. Okay, can you go to the other page? Let's see. Hubby thinks my obsession with true crime is nuts. The Lori Vallow sentencing next week. That's for all you. Thanks for all you do. Yes, I'm going to be watching that. Yeah, for sure, watching that. I will be like glued to my screen. Pretty Lies and Alibis. Yes, that's who I watch. She's awesome. Spreadsheets for Life. That's funny. We need a true crime Kimberly group. I don't know. I'd get canceled. I'd say something I shouldn't say. Like, I can't do that. Do I wait for true crime to be on a broadcast, or do you follow current? Oh, like the architect in New York. Oh, I follow that. Like it was happening when I was on a plane, and I was like, oh, Emma, I gotta buy Wi-Fi. I usually don't buy Wi-Fi not because I don't want to pay for it, but because I get too frustrated doing it. But I was like, Emma, you gotta figure out the Wi-Fi for me. No, I follow that like crazy. Like I also watch Vinnie Politan. I watch all that stuff. Like it's ridiculous what I watch. But Kevin, it does bother Kevin. I watch that. Another thing I am kind of obsessed with is Scientology. I should probably not say that because I don't want to get stalked. But there are a lot of Scientology channels that I watch, and because I really like cult stuff, so I watch a lot of that stuff too. Can you make a tutorial showing the process of designing a quilt pattern? So we do have an idea on that, and we're kind of like, it's one of those things that like we want to do, but like I don't know how easy it's going to be to like have Jordan sit behind me and like watch me make a quilt block. I don't even know, like it'd be weird. Like I don't know. So it's something that maybe we could just do on a live stream one day, where I just get on I don't know. It's probably gonna have to be something that's like live, so that I can like interact with somebody to like keep going, I guess. Would I consider doing another low volume quilt? I love the one you did with chambray sashing and borders. Yes, so the next low volume quilt is going to be the layer cake loop. So that'll be my 3rd low volume quilt. I did one before that. What did I do before that one? Is that the first one? I think that's the first. Okay, so then I'm going to do layer cake loop, and then after that I haven't decided. So the one thing I haven't decided for 2024 is my scrappy. Sometimes those just come to me when I'm sewing, but yes, I am going to keep doing those. Okay, let's see. Math Geek. Oh, Kimberly, yes, true crime and cult documentaries are my favorite. My hub thinks I'm crazy. Oh yeah, Kevin definitely thinks I'm crazy. My mom really likes it too. And it's funny because every now and then my brother and his wife will like text me something, and I'm like, oh yeah, like they think they're like breaking news, and I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, it's so bad. A paper for Hunter Star would be amazing. I've never made one of those. Scroll down. Okay, this is a good question. I've been seeing dessert roll bundles. Really good, really great idea. Yes, those, there are 2 honey buns offered in this book, and I think 1 honey bun. Which of the papers do you think would be good for a beginner? My son is working on his first quilt and is looking for his next quilt. I really think the economy block is cool because it's just 5 pieces. Wait. It's only 9 pieces, but it's big, and so you can use big pieces. Thank you to Carol Garrison. Thank you for my mystery quilts. I love them. How often a year do you do them? So the designer mystery is once a year. And that one we will be releasing for sale in October. Maureen Camissa, thank you. She sent a super sticker. And then, we have some new members. We have Renee Langan, Stitching and Pearls, Jamie Evers, Patty Peterson, Plasico 100, M. Prude, Peggy Roby, Peggy Butts, Marshall Roby, Luana Nehu, Mary Strong, and Marilyn Larson. Awesome. Oh, and then thank you to Super Chat, Anna Banana. This is a former CPA, mom of twins. Yes, I'm into Scientology. I honestly think we need to meet. Yes. So do you watch Aaron? He is Aaron Smith Living. I've been watching him for years. He's kind of going off the deep end a little bit right now, but I watch him, Mike Render. It's ridiculous. Yes, it's ridiculous. Do I have retreats? No, not yet. Maybe when my kids are old. Have I ever attached binding to the back first? So me personally, I have not, but we did have a designer on that showed that on our channel, but it was like 8 or 9 years ago. Are you going to get another sidekick with you? What do you mean? I don't know. No, it's just me on the channel. Sidekick, I'm going to CrimeCon with Priscilla, if that means anything. Thank you to Kimberly and FQS for working tonight to bring us this live. Thank you for everything. I just passed my 2-year membership. I listen to your shows literally every day. Love AA Ron. Oh my gosh, you guys watch him. Okay, yes. All these people I need to meet. Wait, go back up. Are you a Scientologist or just curious? No, I'm not a Scientologist. I'm just curious about one thing. I think I might have missed my calling in life because I really am interested in why people think the way they do, or like the psychology of things. And so I just curious. Would I ever consider using actual pictures of your Jolly Bar quilts in books? Not on that one, because those books, we have to keep those books really expensive, like $9.98, $10.98. And so adding the pictures would add more pages, and it would just like up the cost of the book. I cut my binding 2.5 inches. The live will replay. Have I ever been to Lancaster, Pennsylvania? No. I like Andrew Gold. I don't watch him that often. I'm still making scrappy houses. Yes, I made one this weekend. Yes, me and Priscilla are going to CrimeCon in September. If we promise to talk about true crime, would you consider being a guest on our Inappropriate Quilters podcast? Yeah, I would. I would totally do it. Yeah, and if you ever meet me in real life and you want to just talk to me, just talk to me about true crime. Don't talk to me about my business. It's just weird. Like when I meet people and they how many employees do you have? It's so awkward. I'm like, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's just so weird. Just curious of how some people get sucked into it. Absolutely. Thank you to Anna Banana. She says, yes, I watched them all and thought I was the only one. I love Aaron. I definitely miss my calling. Yes, Aaron is hilarious. Same, the psychology of the cult thought process is intriguing. I got into it in college. I took a class. It was called Magic, Ritual, and Religion. And it was you need to have 1 psychology credit, 1 anthropology credit, and I think I needed to have 2 anthropology credits for some reason. So I took 2 classes. One of them was Magic, Ritual, and Religion, and he was obsessed with Jonestown. And so I was I had never heard of anything like that. And I was just from that day, I was obsessed with it. And he talked about obviously it was a college class, so it was about all that stuff. I don't know. Do you put cuddle on the back of many of your quilts? Okay, so anything that's a big panel, I'll usually put cuddle on the back. The quilts that are on my kids' beds have cuddle on them. Have I done anything else recently? I don't think I've done anything else recently. Pat Sloan has good vlogs on sewing binding on. Yes, and I think we do have a binding playlist. Where do I publish my sew-alongs? I always seem to miss out. So we have a blog on it. I think we have a blog post where we add to it and we post it every year. and we do like 20, 23 sew-alongs. And I always on live streams. Maybe you answered this. When can we start to pre-order next year's charity? Right now. So we'll pop up the image one more time, and it is pre-selling really well. We're going to order it in about a month. It's called Moonbeams. That is the front, and then I'll show you the back. There. Is it okay to say hi if we see you at CrimeCon? Yes, of course. Take a picture. We'll stalk Nancy Grace. No, I'm just kidding. No, Nancy Grace is always there, and she's always in the hallway, so I always just listen when people say she's in the hallway and get a picture with her. I think we should do this fun evening once a month. Oh my gosh, my employees will quit on me. They have lives. Unlike me, I don't have a life. My daughter's at work. My kids are at camp. I have nobody at home. Like, they're just like, there's no one to go home to. Beth Faust, what is the most economical way to back a quilt? Wide backings or regular yardage? I think it depends. Quilt by quilt, size by size. I would just price it, maybe just draw it out and see. Are Cuddle and Minky the same? Yes. So Minky came out Minkee years ago by Benartex, and then other stores started making it, like Shannon. I think it's kind of a generic name. I cannot find where you listed the long arm quilters you use. So if you go to our blog, we posted that in June, and you could search like long arm or Gina Tell or Maggie Honeyman. You could just search their name and it would probably pop up. Has Jordan started sewing? No, but he started cross stitching. So you'd have to subscribe to our FlossTube channel to see that. Tomorrow I'm going to have something from him. Indie Cute says, this is fun. Can I subscribe or do I have to join your channel? You can just do both, or one, or subscribe. Definitely like the video. You can do whatever you want. Jody says, I changed my major from accounting to psychology and people thought that was weird. My niece got a psychology degree and she got her psychology degree, like I said, at TCU. Now she's at Marquette and wherever Jeffrey Dahmer's from. Where did we go? Where was that city we went to see Jeffrey Dahmer's house? Sorry, I took Denise on a trip. Wisconsin. No, the other state. Where did we land? Where was the... Oh my gosh. It's too late at night. Wait, anyway, I basically tricked Denise. She still loves me though. I tricked her. I was like, you want to go to breakfast? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I found this really cute restaurant. And then I proceeded to drive by Jeffrey Dahmer's grandmother's house, Jeffrey Dahmer's hotel where he went. I mean, I did like a whole tour and she's like looking at me like, you are crazy. What? Milwaukee. So my niece is in Milwaukee. Sorry, I got sidetracked. My niece is in Milwaukee. She's doing some kind of fast master's program to be a psychologist. Her mother, which was my sister-in-law, who I knew my entire life. I don't think I've ever talked about this on the channel because I really don't like to talk about stuff like this, but it's late and I'll talk about it. So I knew her my whole life. She married my brother. She died of alcoholism. And so she wants to be a therapist and she wants to do marriage counseling and drug and addiction counseling. And when she told me that, I looked at her and I said, "Oh, well, we're just hitting all that head on." And she's like, "Yeah, it really pissed me off when my mom did that." And I was like, "You think?" Anyway, Milwaukee. Is it possible to double up on batting to make it fluffy or thick? If you want it really fluffy, you could do polyester or wool. I think with wool, you can't use the dryer though. I don't know that I've ever used double. You could ask Gina Toe. I don't know if I ever have. Can you make a tutorial on how to do the scallop on the edges of a quilt? Me, no, but maybe I could have a guest. Don't think that's on my list right now. Do I have my quilts dry cleaned or do I wash them? So the ones that I use in the house, I wash. But when I got my dog, when he was a baby, my dog peed on a lot of quilts, so those were all dry cleaned. My dog is so bad. I'm about to start my first flannel quilt. Is there anything different I should do? Okay, so one thing that we did do a flannel tutorial earlier, and Teresa did some testing on if you should starch flannel or not starch. She thinks that it's better to not starch flannel just because it kind of peels, like the fluffiness peels off. So that's what I would do different. Do I have a tutorial for beginners with suggested starter pack process and terms. Melanie Ham inspired me, and have all in one place would be so helpful. Yes. So RIP to Melanie Ham. She was amazing, and I loved her crochet stuff. Oh my gosh, she did amazing stuff. So we do have a beginner quilt series, and we have a playlist for it, and we have a quilt kit that goes with it, and each tutorial is a different block and a different technique. Has Cheryl made more progress on Hawk Run Hollow? Love both YouTube channels. Do you think she has? We can text her and see. We can tell you tomorrow. But she usually gives it to us like every other month or so. She only works on it. So her philosophy on that one is she works on it on the 13th and the 31st of each month. Thank you, Cindy Gully. Love FQS and all Kimberly videos. Have I been following Taylor Shabusiness? She was obsessed with Jeffrey Dahmer. I've never heard of her. Oh, this is a good point. Lloydie Wasmund. I am a long arm quilter and have double the batting. Tula Pink doubles her batting. Yes, so you could maybe follow her Facebook Lives. Did I finish my Happy Go Lucky quilt? Okay, I have finished all the blocks. It is not put together in a quilt. That is going to be shown in 3 weeks with all my progress. I brought a stack like this big. Maybe it was this big, but it was a lot. And I had Kevin help me put it in the car, and I was like, you have to stack it a certain way. And he's like, looking at me like, whatever. Melanie Ham was amazing. Yes. Used to be a fire investigator, and people are crazy the things people do. Yes. So my neighbor that used to live, he moved 6 months ago. He was a firefighter, and he told me and my husband this crazy story about, oh, it was crazy. Like how a guy like tried to burn down his house to get the insurance money, and like, oh, it's crazy. James Durchenwald, best learning experience with Socialites 1 that I did in 3 inches. Great skill builder. Yes. Lagos. Okay, what is the name of the jewelry? Lagos. Lagos. We love Pat Sloan. Yes. When will block 4 of pressed flowers be released? So it's usually 15 days, so probably 7 to 10 days. So if there's only 30 days in a month, she only works on it. So if there's only 30 days in a month, she works on it only the 13th. Only once a month. When did you say to yourself, hey, I want to make a quilt? So I've always been super crafty. When I was 5, I got stuck at my whole family got stuck at my grandmother's house because there was this huge flood in Austin. And so my granny would crochet. So I said, just show me. And so I started, and then I learned to cross stitch. And so I've always just been crafty. Crafty. I am so sorry. I'm going to get canceled by YouTube. God. Beginner series on website. It's on YouTube. Kimberly After Dark is spicy. I promise you, I have not had wine. I have not had anything. There's this new burger place called Willie's, and we were like, oh, let's go to Willie's. We couldn't find a parking spot, so we went and had Italian, and all I had was iced tea, so I don't know. That's why we cannot do true crime, Kimberly. What app do I recommend for quilt designing? So, if you're really smart, you could use Adobe products. If you're a beginner, you could use Electric Quilt. Beginner series is on our YouTube channel. I dated a Fort Worth fireman 4 years. Boy, did I hear some stories. What kind of quilting project would you recommend to do when on vacation overseas? I would take English paper piecing, maybe. Carmen Geddes with 10 Sisters does a great tutorial on scalloped edges. When there aren't Kimberly videos to go, I go through withdrawal. I love watching and listening. I can't stop laughing. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm honestly really tired. Was it the Memorial Day flood? No, but I have a funny story about the Memorial Day flood. So the Memorial Day flood, that was in 1981, that flood, or 80. But the Memorial Day flood, my father, it was when he was alive, and he was out of town, like out of the country. And I worked really far from work, like 45 minutes. Well, it started, like nobody knew it was going to rain. I didn't know. I also don't watch the news. But anyway, I got home, and I got to the street, and I lived near them. And he said, you've got to go turn off my house alarm because it's going off and my neighbors are complaining. Well, I started to go down the street and it was flooding. When I say flooding, I'm talking like you couldn't go on the road. So I didn't go, and he cursed me out because that was how my dad was. He was so mad at me. He's like, you're just lazy. You just didn't go. And like I had to call his neighbor and be like, hey, tell my dad it is really flooding. Like he did not believe me. And then he came home and was like, oh yeah, sorry, it was really flooding. He was a kid in Ohio, just a little bit from me. Are most Jolly Bar beginners, I cannot talk. Are most Jolly Bar patterns beginner? Yes. I took my first machine embroidery class today, and I'm thinking wine would have been helpful. Yes. My brother-in-law was a Los Angeles County homicide detective. Good stories. One time I did a ride along with the chief of police in Austin. That's another story for another day. Yes, you can use double batting. Just take your time. I'm a former dispatcher and my husband is a retired police lieutenant. We have some stories for you. Yes, I love all that stuff. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to do about 5 more minutes. So add your questions. I come from a family of New York firefighters. I'm currently doing the Shine On Cross Stitch and the Great Granny Square quilt by Lori Holt. Yes, that is actually one of my favorite quilts. Somebody had asked before, but that Great Granny Squared, I love it because you have that big wide seam, and so you trim it down and it always comes out perfect. Sleep in tomorrow since you're up past your bedtime. Okay, I live 45 minutes from here, so I will get home around 10. Of course, I have no kids to go home to. I have one, but yeah. But I have live stream tomorrow, so I have to get up early. If you ever plan a trip to Hawaii, we would love to host you and your ohana. What does that mean? On the Big Island with lots of friends to hook you up. Our way of saying thank you. I don't know if Emma went to Hawaii this year with Drill Team, and then they're going next year to Disney. I was like, what is this? This is like a racket. Like, let me just write some more checks to the school. What weight of Aurifil do you use on English paper piecing? 80 weight keeps breaking on me. Okay, so we did some videos with Tula Pink, and I think she uses maybe a different brand of thread. I would kind of refer to Sue Daly, Jen Kingwell, and Tula Pink. Am I driving home? Actually, no. Kevin is here, and he's going to drive me home. But I have not had anything to drink, if you guys are thinking I have. I just got my Sew Sampler box left. I love it. Best ever. I live in Tulsa. When I travel on a plane, is it better to bring a portable light? Okay, so when I travel, I bring my Halo Go, and I get my whole bag of tricks out. It drives Emma crazy. Do I watch true crime on podcast or YouTube? Both. Mostly YouTube. Oh, it means family. I thought it meant like husband. So I'm glad you said that. Pretty Lies and Alibis is good, also known as Gigi. Yes, I just mentioned her. I love her. Can you explain volume fabric? So there's a term called low volume. It came out about, I don't know, 12 years ago, 10 years ago. And it's kind of like if you look at the collection by Fig Tree, what's the name of it that we just talked about? Linen Cupboard. That would be like low volume. You mentioned you have a shopping list on Amazon. We did something like that. Ashley can link it. And we just did it for the things that I buy. I like superior threads for English paper piecing. Yes, that's what I've heard. Tula and Sue use polyester thread. Yes, so basically polyester thread is thicker and it's less likely to break when you're pulling those tight knots. How can I piece batting together? I finished Barnstar Sampler, but I added a border and I can't find a batting that's big enough. Okay, so you can buy king size, or there's something called batting tape, and I think it might be meant for just smaller pieces. But if you need, like if you have like a piece and a piece, you can put the batting tape on it and stitch it together. You could also piece it. You might fill the stitches through the center, but you might not. Do I know when the little house pin refill will be back in stock? Yes, I do. So we paid that invoice today. It comes from Japan, so probably a month. Do I have a blue curated bundle from Lori Holt Fabrics? No, I only have red. Do I watch Murder with my husband? No. James is saying you can whip stitch batting together. I have 3 Halo Go's become loose at the charger site and not charge anyone else. No, but I have like 6 of them. When I was when I was organizing my sewing room, I had Kevin help me. And one of the things says Halo Go, and there's 3 of them in there. And then I have one in my closet, one in my car, one in my office. I mean, they're everywhere. And Kevin's like, you know how much money you're wasting? I was like, yeah, I'm horrible. Seriously, on YouTube and podcast is good. I watch her sometimes. My stepdaughter is married to the best friend of Troy Aikman of Dallas Cowboys. That's so funny. My brother is a huge... Okay, so my family, let me just say my whole family, they're huge Dallas Cowboy fans. Drives me nuts. So my brother used to be out of control. Like, he goes to the games. He has season tickets. He's because he lives in Argyle. He's insane. And he got this new wife, and she calmed him down. And I'm like, thank God. Like, she made him calm down because he was just out of control. And we were just like, you need to calm down. And she made him calm down. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. Because he gets so mad, he like screams at the TV. But like everyone in my family, my mom loves the Cowboys. I don't care about football. I mean, I watch UT, but really halfway. Will I be doing tutorials for Lori Holt's hometown quilt seats? No, but I have all 9 blocks done, and in 2 weeks I'm going to show them to you, and they're so fun. Teresa put them together. She said they take about half a day to a day to make. They're pretty intricate, but not too hard. They're just a lot of pieces. Marty Michelle has a great fusible batting tape. It works great. Good. This has been a wonderful evening with Kimberly. Love the true crime. Keep us all in stitches. I scream at the TV and my son shuts the door. My family, like I used to like, the only day, like when I was in high school, I was really busy. And the only day I could sleep in was Sunday. And they would wake up at like, just start screaming. But my brother's met Troy Aikman before. And I don't know, he has that picture somewhere in his house. He's nuts. But he's very calm with his new wife. She's really calmed him down, which is great. I love watching your live stream. Do you have a tutorial of beginning cross stitch? Yes. Cross Stitch University. Denise is behind the screen. She remembers everything. Batting tape is an iron product. I've never used it, so I think what it is I think you just like, you tape the 2 together with a... This has been so fun. Thanks for the laughs. Thank you for the late night. Love it. Thank you for the live. 10 p.m. Betty time. Yes, bedtime for me too. So it's 9 o'clock. So we've done 2 hours. I hope you've loved this live stream. If you have any questions, put them in the comment box. I will always answer them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys on Friday with our special guest, Layla Boutique. I will see you then.